Michael Wenniger here. Today is Toxic Free Friday. Wow, and I got all wrapped up over here because you know what? Today we're going to learn about shakes. And that's what Toxic Free Friday is for. We learn and get some education about whatever it is you want to ask me. And I reached out to you guys and I said, hey, you know what? I need some topics. And you said, let's talk about shakes and what makes a bad shake and what makes a really great shake, because there is no such thing as a good shake. Nothing in between. It's either a bad shake or a great shake. So we got a lot of protein shakes on the market. And first, let's understand that if we alkalize our bodies, so if we keep our pH levels where they need to be, perfect pH is 7.365, and if we were able to consistently keep our bodies alkaline and did the right things to create perfect pH, there would be no need for shakes, because you are three different bone types. You are small boned, medium boned, or large boned. And your body would be able to regulate its weight because our bodies are designed to heal. And your body would actually regulate its weight properly according to your bone structure. See, weight or fat cells, whatever it is that you want to call it, fat can only live in an acidic environment. Fat cannot survive in an alkaline environment. So are you at a state of acidosis or are you alkaline? And that's a hard thing sometimes for people to, continuously keep themselves alkaline. It's not hard if you do the right things every single day, and it doesn't take a bit of time just to do the right things and take alkalizing products and keep yourself away from chemicals. But most people need a little assistance, so they lean towards the different shakes that are on the market. So let's talk a little bit about shakes, and trust me, we could talk all day about shakes, but there's either bad shakes or great shakes. And what's the difference? Simple. The ingredient decks, right? So when we look at ingredient decks, first thing we're looking at is where's our protein sources coming from, right? And we're going to see whey protein, whey. And we'll see all different variations, whey isolate, this kind of whey, double, tripled, fat flipped, all these different fancy adjectives or verbs in order to give whey a different meaning, so you think that whey is better than any other whey. And let's just talk about whey. Some people are even saying they're getting it from overseas, and we're getting it from the European nations, or from the Netherlands, or from North, wherever it is. Whey is whey. Cows do not live differently in other places of the world, and it makes their whey better than any other whey. I come from a farm in Wisconsin, right? So I had to milk cows every day, 7 days a week. Here's what I learned about cows. They don't know when the holidays are. They don't know when it's Thanksgiving. They don't know when it's Christmas. They don't know when it's Easter or Memorial Day. They know nothing. So you have to milk them every single solitary day. Now, milk is a substance that comes from another animal's modified sweat glands. It was never really designed for us to ingest. It's designed for the animal, whatever animal that might be, to drink that milk for weeks, few weeks, 5, 6 weeks, whatever. And then what does that animal do? A horse, a cow, whatever. It then leaves its mother and goes out and alkalizes. And that's why they are super strong. But for some reason, we as people think we should be using these ingredients. And all dairy is extremely acidic. extremely acidic. And what happens when you put acid in? Your body has to create acid because it recognizes this foreign substance that shouldn't be there, and your body's rapidly creating acid or acidity to try and push that out of your system. And thus we come to talking a little bit about whey. Now, what I tell people is if you want to know a little bit about whey, go visit a dairy. You'll never eat any dairy product if you visit a dairy. So let's watch how whey is developed, because it doesn't matter where you're getting it from and how they're telling you they're processing it. All that stuff doesn't matter. All this isolates and this and triple, upside down, all these things they're trying to tell you doesn't matter. Let's just look at whey protein. So when the milk gets from the farm to the dairy, what happens at that moment is the dairy has to then take this milk and radiate it like you radiate cancer 6 to 8 times to try and get this substance ready to be able to sit on a shelf long enough for somebody to buy it and consume it. And even then, you could still take that milk and look under a microscope and see living organisms, right? But remember, it's been radiated like you radiate cancer at least 6 times and up to 8 times, depending upon what they have to do to get it ready for the shelf. Once we're done with the milk, there's still some watery substance left. And now we're going to take that and we're going to make cottage cheese. That's the second step at the dairy. After we're done with the cottage cheese, then what we're going to do is we're going to now make cheese, because now it's all gooey and creamy, and now that's all we got left. So now we make the cheese. Now it dries up all the dried up stuff in the tank that's left. We can make curds. That's the next thing that we're going to make. And then we come to an empty tank. Now, if the dairy would choose to go with a hose and flush out the tank and let it all go into the sewer, or flush out the tank and funnel all the flushing out to get the tank clean and let that go onto the ground, or flush out the tank and pipe it into a river, a stream, or a body of water, it wouldn't take 3 to 5 days and the government would come in and shut down the dairy for toxic waste, environmental toxic waste. So what do? They let the tank dry. They let it dry. And then the next day, they insert another machine into the tank that scrapes the side, and this powder falls out, okay? And they're scraping the side and getting all the tank clean by scraping it, and the powder that falls out, they now use that powder, and that's whey protein. That's where you get your whey from, and from that powder, and that's where you get, that's how they make baby formula, from that powder. Well, I don't think, if you ever visited a dairy, and I tell people, look, don't talk to a guy who's trying to study farming about a farm. Come talk to the farmer himself, because I was grown up on a farm, and I've been at the dairy many, 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 many times. And if you saw this process, and this process of radiation, like they do when you radiate cancer, and if you saw what's in there, and even after it's radiated, think about this. You take 1 glass of milk, and there's 130 million pus. I said it. 130 million pus cells in that glass of milk. It's absolutely nasty. You wouldn't do it if you visited a dairy. And you definitely wouldn't take whey, because whey is extremely, extremely acidic. And you could get better protein from plant sources. So you ask, well then why do these companies use this protein? Simple answer. It's extremely cheap. It's cheap, inexpensive, and again, it's not that good for you from a pH scale, from an alkalinity side of things. It's bad. It's bad for you to take no matter what. You don't do that. Again, it's another substance. It's a substance that you get from an animal's modified sweat gland. And remember, these cows are being bred. Cows don't produce milk just randomly. They breed them. They take the calf is with the mother for a little bit. And it all depends on when you take it away. It has to be taken away at some point in time and not being with that mother. And we're going to milk them, right? And we use the machines, and that's how we get milk. Milk isn't just come from a cow. Cows need to be bred, and the calves need to be taken away in order for you to even get that. So come to your own conclusions on that, right? Now, what happens when you take a shake? Because everybody's out there, oh, I got the best shake in town. I got the greatest shake, the greatest shake. We got the greatest shake. We don't know. We got the greatest shake. Doesn't work like that. What you need to do is understand labels and how weight loss happens. When you want to slim up and when you want to trim up, it's really simple from a shake standpoint. Protein, fiber. Protein, fiber. Protein and fiber. That's it. That's all you need. Not all these other additives and things in the shake itself, right? So it's a protein fiber ratio. And remember, it doesn't matter what shake you're taking at that point, because here's the real key to weight loss, is that you're reducing your caloric intake. Because some of these people use that protein shake for a meal replacement. So at that point, it doesn't matter if you have 2 McDonald's shakes or 2 Burger King shakes twice a day and just eat a good meal at night. You're going to lose weight. Or take your shakes and walk and eat a meal. You're going to lose weight. So the shake is just a little bit of an assistance. But now, here's what happens when you take any product in the world, no matter what that is. I don't care what type of product you take and what it's for. 2 things are going to happen. You're going to get a short-term result. So in the example of a shake, you're going to lose weight. It's guaranteed. So that's your short-term result. But there's always cause and effect, right? So we're going to lose weight. That's our short-term result. Now, long-term, we're either going to have health benefits or health consequences. No matter what product in the world you take, they wouldn't sell if they didn't give you a short-term result. But on the other side of things, 3, 4, 5 years and more down in your life, by taking that product, it's either going to give you health benefits or health consequences. So now we're going to ingest a shake, whether we use it as a meal replacement or whether we use it as assistance to whatever it is we're trying to accomplish. Plant-based protein. Focus, laser focus. Plant-based protein, it will assimilate better, it'll digest better, but again with plant-based protein, let's find out how they're getting that plant-based protein. In our situation with Asante Organics, we use certified organic, wild-crafted ingredients, and organic plant-based protein. We no heat, dehydrate it, and then we give it the same charge that we give our greens and all the rest of our reds. We use a 750 megahertz charge on all those products for one reason and one reason only, assimilation. So what happens is when you take that product in, it is going to assimilate or absorb into your tissues, into your cells, and into your body faster than any other product on the market. Now, also, what companies are lacking when they're making shakes, and this is shame on those companies, because they know what they're doing. They know if they're making something just to, if they're making a product and they're compromising quality for profits. And in a lot of shake circumstances, in almost most of them, that's what they're doing. And they're not thinking. And what they're not realizing is people are taking that shake as a meal replacement. So what we do here at Asante Organics is we realize that. We really know that is going to happen. So as a company, we have to go, well, if that is going to happen, we have to know how to keep that body metabolizing and running properly while you're not eating. So we need to know how to feed your tissues and your cells and your bloodstream. We have to feed you good ingredients because you're taking that as a way that you're taking it. Meal replacement, whatever, for when you're working out, whatever the case might be. But we do know that some people are taking it for reasons being, right? So when we developed this shake, we also looked at the protein fiber ratio. So that is what help you lose weight. That's how you get real good, proper, good, strong, steady weight loss. That'll stay off, okay? And we also know as a company and understand that we need to feed this temple, this vehicle that houses our spirits, our souls. We have to give this vehicle the proper ingredients and but the proper ingredients, and in our shake or whatever, like a vehicle, you got to give it the right ingredients, the oil, the fluids, the liquids, and everything for that vehicle could get you from point A to point B without having any problems or issues. So we know how to put the right ingredients in this vehicle so it gets you from point A to point B, and by putting the right fuel in and the proper fuel in and feeding the body properly, you can run forever. And the long-term result will be health benefits. And that's very, very hard to find in the shake industry. So read the labels and remember that all those ingredients, where are they coming from? Are they organic or wild crafted? Because they all didn't grow in the same field and were harvested with the same crop. These are all different separate ingredients. So that you really have to look at your labels these days. And that holds true for every product. In every single product that's out there, remember, they're all sourced from somewhere, and they weren't sourced from the same field at the same time. And so you got to know what's really going on. But one thing you get with Asante Organics, you get assurance and insurance that nothing slips by and gets into our labels. So you can look at all our labels, and in parentheses, you get to see exactly what it is and where it's sourced. So hopefully that answered a few of your questions about shakes. So they're either bad or great. And hopefully what I explained to you will help you look at those labels a little bit and find out what kind of shake we're taking. And stay as far away as you possibly can from whey, because it is a terrible, terrible ingredient and very acidic. And that's it for this week on Toxic Free Fridays. Keep your suggestions coming in, because I will keep educating on business, on ingredients, on products, whatever it is you want to know, that's what Toxic Free Fridays are for. Thank you. God bless your businesses. God bless your families. And until next time, shake.